what's going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. We're here to talk about Amazon Prime's Reacher. Guys, so Amazon sent the entire season over to your boy a while ago, and I finally got around a chance to watching the season. I still have a couple more episodes left, but I figured that since the embargo for the review is for today, I've seen enough of the season to give you guys my actual, honest impressions and thoughts on the season. So here we are. We're going to talk about that, but before we get into that, guys, if you're new here and you want to see my reactions for Reacher, I did film my reactions for them, which I will post when the show released publicly for everyone else to watch. If you guys want to see my reactions to the episodes, please let me know in the comments down below, because if there's a high demand for it, I'm definitely going to post my reactions for you guys to see my reactions to that as well. I'm also doing a whole bunch of other reviews coming up, so be sure to subscribe for that. Okay, guys, so going into this, I didn't know much about Reacher before this. I've heard the name Jack Reacher thrown around for years. I knew that Tom Cruise played him. I know that there was some books, but I never really got into his character. I knew that he was a former military police veteran, ex-military kind of guy that was just really cool and pretty much like an unstoppable machine. And so that was the only premise that I had going into this series. So with that in mind, Ritchson, I was a huge fan of him in Titans as Hank. I really love his performance as Hawk, and I was like, when I heard that he got cast to play the main role of Jack Reacher, I was very intrigued, and I was like, okay, I have to watch the series, mainly for him because I love him as an actor. Dude is built, dude is strong. His fight scenes are always impressive. So I'm like, okay, this show might be really good. Then I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay, this show is going to be something. And I can confirm, in my honest opinion, that Reacher is an amazing series, guys. Everything from action, and this is coming from a guy who hasn't read any of the books, I haven't even seen the Tom Cruise movies. So I literally have nothing to go off of. But everything from the fight choreography is so clean, it's so beautiful. The cinematography used in those scenes too is actually well distributed. It's amazing, because you can, one of the pet peeves I have with fight scenes and filming those fight scenes is too much shaky movements and camera blurs and like all that kind of stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of that, but the action is clean. The majority of the stunts are done by him. At least I can tell that it's him. I'm pretty sure he has a double for certain scenes, but a lot of the action sequences were him, and he was really in it. He was really in there doing his thing, and I was very impressed by a lot of it. And there's some scenes when you guys see my reaction that I'm literally like shocked, because I didn't watch the prison brawl scene that was released on YouTube for you guys, for everyone to watch ahead of time. I didn't even see that prior to watching the season. So there was a lot of shocking moments action wise, and I feel the story has a lot of heart to it too. Reacher as a character is really interesting because of his demeanor and the type of things that he values and the way that he sees the world, the way that he approaches things. You can see a lot of his military police background in the way that he analyzes the situation. His situational awareness is amazing. They pay so much attention to detail on things like that with his character, and it's shown throughout the entire series, at least where I left off. Like I said, I only have like maybe two episodes or so to go in the series, so I'm pretty much towards the end, but everything that I've seen so far has indicated and showcased a lot of his internal skills and his mental skills, and also experience, because you can see that this guy has a lot of experience and he's been through some things, and there's so many questions surrounding him, like, what's his background? How many people has this guy like actually offed? How many other careers did he have in the military? Like, what's going on with this guy? So I found that to be very intriguing, and the way that he embodies, Ritchson embodies the character, I feel like this can go a really good way for him, especially in the future if we get more seasons of this series. And acting is great. I feel like there's a lot of chemistry with the rest of the castmates. Everyone flows together. None of the script feels choppy. There's not any cringy moments in this for me. Maybe I will say maybe there's one or two lines that just didn't really that stood out to me, that was kind of weirdly placed. But overall, it wasn't anything for me to be upset about. I wasn't like, oh man, this ruins the actual experience for the movie. For the show. It didn't ruin the experience for me, because I was genuinely excited. After the first episode, I'm like, okay, I need to see where this is going, because the script is good, the story is good, they're setting up a really good foundation for Reacher and the rest of the cast, and the premise and the overall storyline for the entire show was set up very well in the first episode, in my opinion. Because by the time we get to the last few minutes of that episode, that's when you start to see, like, okay, this is where this show can go. This guy's insane. Things are gonna get crazy. Going on to episode 2, 3, 4, like, and just keep on going on to the next the few episodes after that. The excitement level for me went from here to here to here to here to here. It just kept going up, quite frankly, because I was just really addicted to the storyline. I really wanted to see more. Every time that I was done with an episode, I'm like, okay, I gotta play the next one. I gotta do this. This show is definitely a good show to binge. And one of the things I did love about this show as well, there's a lot of thrillery kind of mystery aspects to it, in a good way, in my opinion, because, you know, there's a lot of investigation kind of stuff going on. I mean, you're watching a show about an ex-military police you know, guy, and you know, you got the premise of it from the trailer, so I mean, you kind of know what you're going to be seeing in this. And they set up those scenes very well. There's a lot of things that you can't predict, and then you even find yourself, and I found myself doing this in between the episodes, me trying to theorize, like, okay, maybe this happens, or maybe I'm looking around at certain details. And I feel like they organized that in such a great way, because certain things that they mention in previous episodes, even small things, comes back in a very unique way. That, like, if you missed it the first time, like, you're gonna be like, oh man, I should have noticed this, or maybe I go back in that last episode and notice that. So I feel like in that way they have really set up and planned a lot of things with this season to be very smart, very intriguing, very entertaining. And I will say, man, like, again, just to elaborate on what I'm saying, every single episode I have myself watching things in the background, focusing on that certain thing, or that person, or this car, or that coffee mug. Like, I found myself trying to be Reacher in that moment and be like, okay, what would Reacher do? Like, what would he do in this situation? Like, what would he notice? And I found that just very, very entertaining, guys. And again, the chemistry with the cast is something that progresses in a very natural and realistic way, in my opinion. You know, sometimes they force some shows and movies, they force certain castmates to interact in a certain way that seems unnatural. But this is the way that they executed the chemistry within the cast itself, to me, was done in such a natural way, in my personal opinion. So for a guy, just to wrap up this review, because I don't want to overtalk it because I can't with but I get into spoilers. But for a guy who hasn't seen or read anything from Jack Reacher, I give this show a 9 out of 10. It is absolutely, is my closing thoughts here, it's an absolutely entertaining show. It's intriguing. My only downside is there were some moments that was, pacing wise, was a little slow. Not enough to take away from the overall experience of the show, but there was some moments that was a little bit slower that I would have preferred to be I guess, you know, certain scenes you kind of stay on it for a little bit. They could have just left it alone to the side, just moved on to a different scene a lot quicker. So that's probably my only actual issue with what I've seen so far for the series, man. But other than that, man, it's been a rock solid season. It's been great. The action's good, music is good, choreography, all of that is amazing, and I think you guys are gonna have a fun time watching this, and I think Reacher fans might really love this as well. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching my review for Reacher season 1 on Prime Video. Please make sure to go ahead and check that out. The show releases February 4th on Prime Video. The link is down below if you guys want to check out more about the series, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see my honest and pure initial reactions to each episode when the show gets released. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Clockmaster out.